Hey guys, welcome to Jaxbeautifulyou. Today's video is about fragrances that I absolutely love, but I refuse to buy for one reason or another. Sometimes it's because the performance isn't great. Sometimes it's because I feel like the perfume wears me instead of me wearing the perfume, and other reasons that we will discuss in this video. But I do have fragrances that I truly love, but I will not purchase them and bring them into my collection. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie. Thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. I really appreciate you being here. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your continued support. I really appreciate you. If you're interested in seeing what perfumes I love but won't buy, then just keep on watching. All right, I'm going to scoot over a little bit so I can put pictures of the fragrances up on the screen. Obviously, I don't have them in my collection, but the first one is by the House of BDK, and this is Rouge Smoking. So this is a fragrance that I got a decant of, and I absolutely loved it. I love the smell of this fragrance. To me, it has like a fizzy Dr. Pepper, cherry Coke, fizzy cola kind of vibe to it. It's definitely got a lot of tonka bean. It's got cherry and pink pepper, I believe, and it's just such a beautiful fragrance. It's super fun. It's super sexy. It's very up my alley. I love these types of fragrances. I love the cherry. I love the fizziness, and I was head over heels in love, but every single time I took my decant out to wear it, I was super disappointed in the performance. I don't really struggle with too many BDK fragrances, but that one is one that I just could not get to perform on me. Now, my rule is that the fragrance has to last at least 4 hours with a moderate projection in order for me to bring it into my collection, and I could only get an hour out of Rouge Smoking every single time. I went through that entire 10 ml decant. Every single time I wore it, I only got about an hour. Now, I don't know if I just went nose blind to it. I don't know if it just doesn't last on my skin chemistry. I don't really know what the situation is, because I've heard other people say that Rouge Smoking lasts on them, and I am jealous of that because I wanted that perfume so badly. I love the color of the red juice. I just love everything about the way the perfume smells and looks, except for the performance. However, this is not an alternative video. I do not have alternatives for all of the fragrances I'm going to talk to you guys about today, but I do have some alternatives for some of them, okay? So if I do have an alternative, I'll share it with you. I did find a dupe for Rouge Smoking, and this is by Dua, and this is She Loves Red. So this is a pretty good dupe. It's not 100% spot on, but it is pretty close, especially once it dries down. It's not 100% as soon as you spray it, but once it warms up on the skin and it dries down and you smell it in the air, I really can't tell the difference between the two. But this is an extrait de parfum, and this is a much better performing fragrance on me than the actual Rouge Smoking. So I love the House of BDK. I have plenty of BDK fragrances, but I refuse to buy Rouge Smoking because it does not last, and I will just stick with the dupe. So this is by Dua, She Loves Red. If you're like me and you struggle with the performance of Rouge Smoking, check this one out. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Up next, we have by the House of Dior. This is Poison Girl, the Eau de Toilette version. I actually had a bottle of this, but I decluttered it, and I won't purchase it again, even though I loved the way that it smelled. But again, it was a performance issue where the fragrance didn't last more than a couple of hours, and then I couldn't smell it at all. It is an eau de toilette, so, you know, I guess, I don't know. I've had eau de toilettes. I have eau de toilettes in my collection that perform really well. They perform like EDPs. So, you know, it's just not acceptable to me to have a fragrance that only lasts a couple of hours, even if I really love the way that it smells. But it smells like a sweet orange. It had orange in the opening. It had some rose. It had some almond. I think it had some tonka bean and vanilla. It was just a very fun, girly, flirty, semi-sexy, very feminine and sweet fragrance that I truly loved, but the performance was absolutely awful. Now, I am interested in the eau de parfum. I've heard the eau de parfum is very good and it lasts way better than the EDT, but I feel like the Eau de Parfum is hard to find. So let me know in the comment section if you have tried the Eau de Parfum and what your thoughts are on that one. But Poison Girl, the EDT, is beautiful in my opinion. It's sweet and just very feminine and fun and flirty, and I really did enjoy it, but I could not get down with the performance, unfortunately. All right, next up we have by Elie Saab, this is Girl of Now. This is a fragrance I really love. I love the way that it smells and it has pretty decent performance, but I have to say the reason why I won't get a full-size bottle is because I do slightly prefer Girl of Now Shine. So this is what I actually have in my collection, and there's just something about the added pineapple note that's in here that really does it for me. I really love the pineapple in here. I had a decant, or I still actually have a decant of the original Girl of Now, and every time that I spray it, I always think I need a bottle of this because I think it smells amazing. I love the nuttiness of the fragrance. It's very gourmand. It's very sweet. I love the pistachio. I love the nutty almond and that gourmand, delicious feel to the fragrance. And when I spray it, I do think to myself, yeah, I'm going to get a bottle. But then I remember, you know what? I really do slightly prefer this one. Do I really need both in my collection? They're so similar, but this one just has pineapple in it. And I just like this one just a little bit better. And I feel like if I did buy a bottle of the original Girl of Now, when I would go to reach for it, I'd be like, no, I want this one. You know, I feel like I would always reach for Shine over the original. So why would I get it? So I've decided not to add it into my collection, but I do think it is an absolutely delicious, sweet, gourmand, nutty pistachio and almond fragrance that I truly do love the way that it smells. But since I slightly prefer Girl of Now Shine, I'm not going to add it into my collection. All right, next up we have by the House of XERJOFF, LIIRA. This is a fragrance I think smells incredible. It is such a delicious, gourmand, lemon cookie vibe. It smells so good, and every time I smell it, I get tempted to buy it. I have almost added that to my collection so many times, but every time I think to myself, no, I don't get good performance. Now, it lasts for an acceptable amount of time, but the projection and the sillage of that fragrance is so poor on me. It's like I can barely smell it. It just smells like a skin scent to me the entire time that I'm wearing it. And I want more. I want more from the fragrance. I want to smell more of that lemon. I want to smell more of that gourmand cookie. I want it to project. I want it to be delectable. I want it to be delicious. I want other people to smell me. I don't want it to be a skin scent. It is too beautiful of a fragrance to be a skin scent. Let me know in the comment section if you have good performance from LIIRA. I just cannot get that sucker to project on me. I do have an alternative here. This is by IDOLO, and this is Love and Crime. This is not exactly the same. This is definitely not a dupe for LIIRA, but it definitely reminds me of LIIRA. It's definitely in the same family. This leans more orange than it does lemon, and this has like a spicy pink pepper kick to it for sure that LIIRA does not have. This also leans more in the sponge cake direction. It's very gourmand. It's a spicy orange sponge cake is what it smells like, whereas LIIRA is more of a sweet lemony cookie vibe for me. So definitely same vibe, same gourmand, sweet, citrusy, kind of pastry-like type of dessert fragrance, but they're not dupes for each other. But the performance of Love and Crime is fantastic. I get all day and I can definitely smell it, and other people can smell it on me as well. So every time I get tempted to get LIIRA, I just wear this, and then this, you know, satisfies my craving for that type of a fragrance. So I won't buy LIIRA because I just can't smell it on me, barely at all. All right, up next we have another one by the House of XERJOFF, and this is Tony Iommi. I absolutely love the way this smells. I love Tony Iommi. I think it smells so good. My husband is a huge fan of Tony Iommi. My husband used to be in a heavy metal band when he was younger, and Tony Iommi is like an idol for him. If you don't know, Tony Iommi is the guitarist for Black Sabbath. My husband loves Black Sabbath. He loves Tony Iommi, and he absolutely loves the fragrance. It is a great boozy, smoky, leathery, sexy type of fragrance, and I really did enjoy it. The only thing is it leaned so masculine on me. I just did not feel comfortable wearing it, but it smelled so good on my husband, and I wanted to buy it for him, but when my husband saw how much it cost, he said no. My husband's not into fragrances like I am, so he's not willing to pay a lot of money for a fragrance for himself. He doesn't mind if I do. He'll buy me an expensive fragrance, but he won't buy himself one that he thinks is too expensive. I love the bottle too. I think the bottle is absolutely beautiful. It is silver and black, and I do have a sample here of Tony Iommi, and I don't know, I'm kind of hoping that I'll change my mind. I'm actually going to retest it here real quick and refresh my memory. I might be changing my mind because I really like this one. It does still lean a tad masculine though, but man, I really like the way that it smells. So it's very boozy. It's definitely got rum in here for sure. And there's passion fruit in here. So you get this like boozy fruitiness in the top. There's definitely cinnamon in here. I picked that up, but there's leather as well. And I get kind of a leathery, you definitely pick up the leather in here, but it's smooth. It's not sharp or harsh or cold feeling leather, but it's definitely present, and it does lean a tad masculine. But then there's caramel in here and tonka bean, and it kind of sweetens the fragrance up a little bit, which I definitely like. There's something in here that's kind of smoky. As much as I like the way it smells, it does feel very, very masculine. This smells way better on my husband than it does on me. All right, up next we have by Tom Ford. This is Lost Cherry. I think we all know why I'm not going to buy this one. I think we all know that this one has some performance issues. Now, I know that there are some people that I've talked to that say that they don't have much problem with the performance of this, and performance is so subjective. It could be skin chemistry. I mean, it's just so subjective. Everybody has a different experience, but for me, I don't get more than an hour out of Lost Cherry. I love it though. I love the way that it smells. That boozy cherry. It is the cherry of all cherries. You know what I mean? It's the cherry that started the whole cherry craze. I have respect for the fragrance because I think it is a phenomenal fragrance. I really love the way it smells. It's very gourmand, edible, delicious, kind of tart, kind of sweet, delicious kind of cherry with a lot of boozy. I mean, it's everything I love in a fragrance, but I just cannot justify that price point for something that doesn't even last. I mean, seriously, I think I get an hour out of that fragrance. I've had a couple of different samples now. I've tried it a couple of different times and I just cannot get it to perform. I do have a dupe for it though. This is by Alt. This is Cherry Smash number 12. This is an extrait de parfum, and this performs really well, and it's a pretty close dupe. I have compared them side by side. When I first got this dupe, I didn't have a sample of the original and I couldn't remember exactly what it smelled like, so I didn't know how good of a dupe this was. But since then, I have compared this side by side with Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and it's pretty close. It's pretty spot on. I would say the opening is different just a little bit. I say that opening is probably about 85% the same, but once it dries down and warms up on the skin, and when you smell it in the air, I can't really tell a difference once they dry down. Plus, this one is way, way stronger and better performing. So I know that this bottle is ugly. The bottle's not cute, but the fragrance is good, as you can tell by the dent, the massive dent I have in this fragrance, because I wear this one a lot. Another one that I really, really love is MANCERA's Roses Vanille, but I won't buy a bottle of it because I do have a dupe that I find better than that one. It performs just the same and it's cheaper. This is by Zara and this is Rose Gourmand. I think this is an fantastic dupe of Roses Vanille. I think it smells very, very similar. Same performance, beast mode, but at a fraction of the price. And this one is just, it's so pretty. So if you want to save some money, if you really, really like Roses Vanille, but you want to only pay $30 for an 80 ml bottle, then I would say go with Zara Rose Gourmand. It's pretty much the same fragrance and pretty much the same beast mode strength for sure. Very happy with this one. So yeah, I really like Roses Vanille. I really like that jammy, sweet profile. It's very, you know, it's as the name suggests, it's very rosy but jammy, sweet rose with a lot of vanilla. That's what's in here. Very sweet, jammy rose, lots of vanilla. So I would say go for Zara Rose Gourmand over MANCERA's Roses Vanille. All right, another fragrance I really, really struggle with is INITIO's Atomic Rose. Now, this is not because I struggle with the performance. This is a beast of a perfume. There is no performance issues with Atomic Rose. It is super strong. It is atomic. It is nuclear. It is definitely an appropriate name, Atomic Rose. I think it is an absolutely gorgeous fragrance, and it's to the point that I would almost dare say it's a masterpiece. So why would I not buy it if I love it so much? Because every single time I wear it, which I've ordered, I don't even know how many samples at this point. I have 1,000 samples, I'm pretty sure. But by the time you add up all the samples I have, I probably could have just bought a full-size bottle, but I keep trying to figure out if I'm going to add this into my collection or not, and I keep struggling every time I wear it because I feel like the fragrance wears me and I don't wear the fragrance. That is very unusual for me. That is not common for me. I usually do not feel subconscious when I wear fragrances, even if they're loud beast fragrances. I mean, I have manners, you know what I mean? Like, I care about what people think if I'm in an inappropriate setting for that type of fragrance. I would never wear a beast mode perfume on an airplane, or you know what I mean? Like, I have manners. I care about what people think in that type of a setting. I don't want to offend anyone, but I never really care what people actually think about how my perfume smells, if that makes sense. You know, if it's an appropriate situation and I have a perfume on that somebody else doesn't really care for, I'm not subconscious about that. I'm just not a subconscious person. You know, I don't care much about what people think of my style, or I'm okay to wear super bold makeup in public. It doesn't bother me. I don't care if people don't like it. You know what I mean? I'm just not the type of person who is used to having this type of feeling when I wear a fragrance. But when I wear Atomic Rose, I feel not necessarily like I feel subconscious about what other people think, but I just feel like the fragrance is too serious. It's so serious. It's so beautiful. It's so elegant, but it's so serious to me. And it's so upscale. I feel out of place. I feel like I showed up to I feel like I showed up to a McDonald's wearing a prom dress or something. I don't know how to explain it. It's not me. It's just not me at all. And I feel like Atomic Rose wears me and I don't wear Atomic Rose. It is literally the only fragrance I have ever tried that has made me feel that way. So it is a very peppery, kind of spicy rose fragrance. It's not overly sweet. I think a lot of people say that Atomic Rose is Delina's sexier, darker, older sister. It definitely has more of a spicy, darker rose. The rose feels dark. I really want to add Atomic Rose into my collection, but I don't think I would ever wear it. It's also something that's so strong that I would only be able to wear in cold weather. And I live in South Carolina. We just don't get super, super cold. I mean, every once in a while it gets cold here, but it's not like common. So that is by INITIO Atomic Rose. We have by Juliet Has a Gun. This is Pear Ink. This is a fragrance that I got a sample of and I absolutely loved the way it smelled. I mean, I loved it. It had the best smelling, realistic, juicy pear. I love pear. Pear in perfumes is so beautiful. It's so juicy. It's so sweet. It's just so good. I love pear and I loved this fragrance. It wasn't like the pear that's in La Belle. You know, Jean Paul Gaultier's La Belle, love that perfume. But that is a like boozy cooking dessert, sweet, almost like a baked pear dessert to me. This was more of a sweet pear, but it was more like you were biting into a pear that was really, really juicy and ripe. Beautiful. Porous performance. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was there and it was amazing and then it was gone. I mean, that thing didn't even make it an hour on me and I was so mad because when I first sprayed it, I was like, yep, I'm getting a bottle of this. This is amazing. And then I don't know how long it was. I don't even think it made it an hour, but it disappeared quickly and I was just so devastated. So yes, Pear Ink smells freaking amazing. The pear is just so good and I really, really, really wanted it, but it has absolutely appalling performance and I'm not spending any amount of money on that. So unfortunately, Pear Ink is just such a bad performer and I was so bummed. All right, last is Killian's Love Don't Be Shy. I think this is a beautiful perfume. I really like it. I love the marshmallow, orange blossom, neroli combination. Again, the performance isn't great, although I don't find it to be horrible. I think it's okay. It's acceptable. I've tried it. The performance is okay. I really like it. Like, Love Don't Be Shy is a very strong, like, almost to a love. If it performed better, it would be a full-on love. It does smell like Fruity Pebbles to me. I think it's super fun, sweet, delicious. I like it a lot, but I won't buy it because I just don't think it's worth it. And I prefer Love Don't Be Shy Extreme. I do have a bottle of this and I think this is worth the price. This is my preferred Love Don't Be Shy, and this is the reason why I won't buy the original. This still has that neroli, orange blossom, marshmallow goodness, but it has rose in it as well. They added rose, and it smells like there's more of a powdery marshmallow feel to this fragrance than in the original. To me, this smells like powdery, fluffy marshmallows on a bed of roses and some Turkish Delight and orange blossom. It's so good. It's so sweet. It's so fluffy, marshmallowy, rosy, Turkish Delight goodness. It performs better than the original on me. I definitely get more. I've actually compared this. I have a decant of the original Love Don't Be Shy, and I've compared these two side by side, and I can smell the extreme version long after the original is gone. So I do think this has better performance. And this is definitely my preferred version. So I won't be buying Love Don't Be Shy, but I love Love Don't Be Shy Extreme. Those are the fragrances that I love but will not purchase. And I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of these fragrances and what your experiences are with them. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!